Hi yogis, and welcome to your instructional video for the Hot Fusion 26 training. In this video, we are going to show the whole sequence in its entirety. So the 26 plus 2 poses. So remember, if you need water, have it next to you. If you need your towel, make sure you have it. I like to have a space heater around me if I'm practicing because I like the warmth that it lets me be a little bit looser in the practice. Let's begin with our feet together, toes and heels touching if it's possible. Feel the four corners of your feet on the ground and remember to root to rise. Lift up out of your legs, lift the pelvic floor, squeeze the abdominals together and engage your glutes. Lift up out of your waist spine. Stand in your power. Set an intention for your practice, whatever that is for you. And we begin with pranayama, deep standing breathing. Interlace the fingers, webbing to grip. We're going to place the knuckles underneath the chin. Remember, some of us, our elbows can touch, some of us it won't. Lengthen up out of the waist spine. Get your checklist going. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Create a V shape. Exhale, let the head drop back. Open the mouth. Arms and elbows will come up over the chest. Keep the elbows off of your chest. Drop the head down, chin down. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep lifting. 6. Drop the head back for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. Elbows off the chest. Inhale for 1. Drop the chin down. Inhale. Keep on breathing. Creating the space in between the vertebrae. Lift the elbows up. Create a V shape. Exhale. Drop the head back. Open the mouth and let go. Lift the elbows up over the chest. Press the hips up and forward. Drop chin down. Inhale for 1. Lift the elbows up to the sky, creating elasticity in the lungs. Lift up, breathe. Exhale, drop the head back, open the mouth. Elbows will come up over the chest. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, drop chin. Expanding the lungs, pressing the feet down, lift up through the elbows, creating the V shape. Exhale, drop the head back, open the mouth, let the elbows touch on the top. Breathe, exhale, keep pressing the hips forward, engage the legs. 2 more. Inhale, drop chin. Lift the elbows up, lengthen the spine, create the elasticity in the lungs. Breathe, exhale, drop the head back. Keep the elbows coming towards each other. Get them off of your chest. Last one, inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, drop the head back. Perfect. And lower the arms down and take a moment. Just stand in your power. So it's all about our stillness, right? So all this energy starts to shift in the body, but we need to teach ourselves and our students to find their stillness. We repeat this again. Interlace your fingers underneath the chin. Elbows together if it's possible. Engage the legs. Lift up from the pelvic floor. Squeeze the hips. Press the hips forward. Engage the glutes. Engage your abdominals as you inhale. Lift up out of the waist spine for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale. Drop the head back. 2, 3. Keep on lifting up out of the waist spine as your elbows come together. Drop the chin. Inhale for 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let the head drop back. Exhale. Inhale for 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale for 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. Really lift. Here's the 4th one. 4, 2, lift up. 4, lift up, lengthen, elbows up. Exhale, drop the head back. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here's 5. Drop the chin. Inhale. Elbows up. Exhale. 6. Lift up. Inhale. Keep breathing. Create elasticity in the lungs. Lift the elbows up. Create space. Press the hips forward. Let the head drop back. Elbows touch. 7. 8. 9. 10. '" Let the arms drop by your side and find your stillness. Notice if you're breathing nice and normally. Notice how you're standing in your power. Notice everything about you right now, yogi. Lift up from the pelvic floor and squeeze the lower abdominals together. Press your hips forward. Lift up out of your waist spine. Relax your shoulders. Engage your legs. Lift up from the insteps. Ardha Chandrasana, Padahastasana. Arms come up over the head, palms touch. Interlace your fingers and let the index fingers free. You want to try to bring the elbow or the arms behind your ear flaps. If that's not possible, that's okay. But try to bring your palms together as much as you can. Now keep on reaching up to the ceiling. So I want you to feel that your feet are rooting down to the ground and you're lifting up to the sky, touching the ceiling with your fingertips. Now just go right and left. Little bits, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. To loosen up that lateral bend that we have in the spine. But press the hips forward all the time. Lift up. Now stop in the middle and press again. Engage your legs. Lift up through the waist spine. Try to touch the ceiling. Try to get your hands a little bit behind you, right? Inhale, lift. Now we're going to go to the right as your hips shift to the left. Now this is usually or classically 1 minute on the clock. So press down, but don't go too far in the beginning unless you have that range of motion. You want to pace yourself as much as you can. So you want to bring that right shoulder forward and the right hip back. So keep on reaching as your hips slide to the left, creating this half moon shape in the body. Keep on reaching. Now, I keep on wanting you to pull your arms out towards the right and use your grip to do that. Bring the right side of the rib cage so it's equal with the left side. But you will feel compression on the right side and you'll feel this tremendous stretch on the left side of the body. Take another breath. Engage the legs. Don't forget both feet are on the ground. Inhale, come up, reach up. Don't lose the length that you've just created. Breathe. Inhale, exhale. Go to the left. You're going to let the hips shift to the right, bringing the left side of the shoulders forward, the left hip backwards. Because what happens is that we like to twist and turn in this pose. It's a lateral bend of the spine. So your spine is going side to side, and your hips are going to the right in this movement. Engage your legs. Make sure that your feet are planted into the ground. Engage your grip as you really reach your arms towards the left side. Reach, everybody. Take another breath. Pull. Get your palms together. Lift your chest up. Let me see your chin. Let me see your throat. Keep on going to the left. Inhale, come up. Reach up, don't lose the length. You work so hard to get it. Let the head drop back. Look at your hands. Lift your hands up to the ceiling. Your sternum is going up and up and up. Lift yourself up out of your waist spine. As you press your feet down, you're going to feel the rooting to rise up. Inhale, let your arms go back. Go back. Try to touch the back wall. Press your hips forward. Engage the pelvic floor. Engage your abdominals. Press your hips forward. Engage the glutes. Press your palms together even more. Try to reach to the back wall. Go back. Fall back. Way back. Inhale, come up. Keep reaching. Don't lose the length. Gently bring your head back to center. If you need to bend the knees, you can. We're going to fold forward for Padahastasana. So the first one might be a little hanky, right? So it's tremendous to go from that back bend to this forward fold. So give yourself a moment. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Squat down a couple of times if that feels good for you. Now, place your hands underneath your heels. You're going to step on your fingers from the inside. Your pinkies will touch your thumbs. All 5 fingers are underneath your heels, just so you feel your belly on your quadriceps. So the action is rocking forward towards the metatarsals, or the balls of your feet. Now, you're going to let the head just drop. If this is enough for you, this is enough. This is a lot of work, yogis. Now, if you can start to straighten the legs, and try to bring the hands a little closer underneath your feet. Your forehead is going to go eventually below your knees on your shins, but keep rocking the weight forward. Lift up in the belly, suck that belly up, lift the sit bones up to the sky. Keep the connection between your belly and your quadriceps. Inhale. Release the bind. Place your hands in the same grip that they were when we went into it. Arms come up. You could bend the knees coming up as well, yogis. Lift up and exhale. Come back to this original standing pose. Samastitihi. In some lineages, they just call it Tadasana. Second set. Shorter, right to the point. Inhale, arms up over the head. Interlace your fingers. Palms are gripping together. They're squeezing together. So that's going to help lengthen. Lift up. Press your feet down. Lift up through your fingertips. Press your hips forward. Engage your pelvic floor. Inhale, go to the right. Let your hips go to the left. Bring right shoulder forward, right hip back. Go to the place that you left off. Engage your legs. Breathe. Inhale, come up to the center. Keep reaching up. We're going to go to the left. So our arms are going to go to the left as our hips shift to the right. Bringing the left shoulder forward, left hip back. Right? Open up the chest. Let me see your throat. Keep on letting the hips go to the right. Engage both of your feet into the floor. Lift up and root to rise through your fingertips. Take another breath. Inhale, come up. Lift up out of the waist spine. Let the head drop back. Reach up, everyone. Press feet down. Reach up through your fingertips. Let the arms go back. Press your hips forward. Arms go back. Just look at the back wall as much as you can. Take another breath. Go back. Fall back. Way back. Inhale, come up. Reach up. Up. Before we go forward in the forward fold. So we're flexing forward at the hips, and we're going to go right into it this time. So grab a hold of your heels If you need the knees bent, that's what you're doing. If not, straighten out the legs and try to get your forehead below your knees, lifting the sit bones up as high as they can go. Release the pose. Hands in front of you. Come back to that beautiful mudra grip as we lift up. Nice long spine. Find the length. Right? So your entrances and your exits of your poses are so important. And then lower down. Take a moment to feel the energy shifting. Utkatasana, or awkward pose. We're going to step our right foot out to the right. We're going to turn our heels out and our toes in slightly. So there's some people that might not need to do that because that will overly internally rotate them, but you'll know that when you see the person. So remember, all poses are individual, but we can get them into a space through this dialogue. So our feet are out, creating this H shape. My arms are going to come out right from my shoulder. So this is shoulder flexion. 5 fingers are together. Inhale, lengthen the spine, come up out of the waist. Exhale, sit. And breathe. Reach your arms forward. Keep reaching your arms forward. Sit back towards the heels. So it feels like we have this straight spine right now, and really we do. For now, at the end of this pose, I want you to lift the chest, sit back and find the Cobra spine. Inhale, come up. Keep your arms where they are. Lift the heels up as much as you can. Try to find the balls of the feet. Engage the legs. Lift up out of your waist. Press your hips forward and bend your knees. Now, if you could see the back wall behind you, then try to slide down the back wall. But you want to lift the heels up in the second part of Utkatasana, or awkward pose. Inhale, come up. Lower the heels down gently. Inhale, come up. Knees together. Keep on reaching forward as we sit down. Yes. Knees together. Lift the heels up, but then let the knees drop down. Your spine is nice and long. So you don't want to go forward. You want to stay straight in a nice vertical line. Breathe. Try to squeeze the knees together a little bit more. Engage the legs as we come up. Open out to this open position, heels down, and then bring your feet back together. And take a moment. So progressively, the intensity starts to build. So be very mindful and be very cautious about your breath. Yeah? Remind yourself to breathe. Step right. Toes in slightly, heels out. Engage your arms, flex them at the shoulders. Sit down into the chair. Reach forward. Inhale, lift the chest like in Cobra. Keep on sitting down. So eventually, your bicep femoris is going to be parallel to the ground. Sit down. Breathe. Inhale, come up. Lift your heels up. Lengthen the spine. Bend the knees and sit. You want to lift the heels up. Lift the knees up. Lift the heels up. Lift the knees up. Reach forward. Lift up in the belly. Inhale, come up. Lower the heels gently. Inhale, come up. Press the knees together. Keep on reaching forward as you lift up through Uddiyana Bandha. Squeeze the knees together as we go down. Sliding down that back wall. Your knees, some teachers say, think there's a volleyball on your knees, right? That you're going to drop this volleyball and it'll fall forward. There's some people that might overcorrect them, and we'll talk about that in class. I just want you to have a nice long spine. Squeeze your knees together. Inhale, come up. And then release the pose. Find your breath. Garudasana. Arms come up over the head and palms will touch. Right arm will come underneath the left, so your elbows cross and your wrists cross. Palms touch. This might not be possible for people, so let them interlace their fingers or grab a hold of their wrist, but make sure that their wrists are straight. Sit down into the chair. Then lift the right leg and cross it over the left. Remember, we talked about that in the instructional video, that if the foot is out to the side, just to bring it towards the intention of the leg, wherever that is. But if you can wrap, great. If you can't wrap, great. Because whatever it is that you're doing, we're going towards the intention. Lift the chest up. Press, if your foot is wrapped, you're going to press the top of the foot against the Achilles, and you're going to lean back into the left heel as you lift the chest up. Get your shoulders and your hips square and get everything towards the midline. Take another breath. Release the pose. Arms up over the head, palms touch. Left arm underneath right. Cross elbows, cross at the wrists. Sit down into the chair. Lift the chest. Left leg comes up and over. Remember where your intentions are, wherever that is for you. Bring elbows and knees to the center. Square off your hips. Lift. Square the shoulders off and breathe. Lift the chest up. Sit back towards the right heel. Release the pose. Go right into second set. Right arm underneath left. Elbows, wrists cross. Fingers, palms together. You can interlace if you need to. Sit. Right leg comes over the left and breathe. Come into your leg variation, whatever it is you need to do, but make sure that your alignment is on point. Sit down. Lift. Get elbows and knees towards the midline. Squeeze. So beneficial for our lymphatic system. Release that. Arms up over the head. Left underneath right. Elbows, wrists cross. Sit down. Lift left leg up and over. Cross at the top. Sit. Lift the chest. If your foot is hooked, feel the top of the foot against the Achilles tendon. Let the toes point downward towards the heel. Shift back towards the right foot. Lift the chest up. Get elbows and knees into the center. Release that. Arms up over the head. Palms touch. Hands down to the side. Find your stillness. So this is the classic point that through time, what happened was teachers are allowing students to wipe down, get water. If you don't need to do that, then don't. Stay in your stillness. Now we begin the balancing sequence. Dandayamana, Janushriyasana, standing head to knee. So we've been talking about rooting to rise and engaging your legs. Be very mindful of this portion of our bodies because this is where we dump into. So I want you to lift up through the pelvic floor, engage your abdominals by squeezing them together and press your hips forward by engaging your glutes. I want you to shift your weight to the left leg, and lift the right leg up. Flex your right foot and try to think of everything squeezing towards the midline. Interlace your fingers. Lift up out of the waist spine again as we fold forward in flexion and grab a hold of the right foot with my interlaced fingers, with this grip. Take a moment. Engage your left quadricep. Engage your left leg. Lift up from the pelvic floor and use your abdominals to take the flatness out of your lower spine. You want to find roundness. This is deep flexion. Now kick your foot out if you're ready. If not, stay in the first part of the pose. Engage the left leg continuously. Bend the elbows down if it's possible for you. If not, stay in the step that you're in. Take another breath, kicking the heel forward. Then straighten out the arms, bend the knee, let go of the grip, and right foot next to the left. Come to standing. And breathe. Shift your weight to your right. Lift the left knee up. Flex the left foot. So you really want to find your balance by engaging the right leg. Lift up out of the waist spine. Engage the pelvic floor. Interlace your fingers and find flexion. Then grab a hold of your left foot. Extend the left leg. So remember, we can stop at any point. So lengthen your spine, lengthen your arms. Bend the elbows if you can. So yeah, let your elbows go down to the ground. Lift up in the belly. Kick your left foot forward. Then release that by straightening the arms, bending the knee, releasing the leg, lowering the foot down to the ground. Breathe. Second set. Shift your weight to the left leg. Bend your right knee. Have all those checkpoints. Lift up out of the waist spine by lifting up in the pelvic floor. Squeeze the abdominals, interlace the fingers, roll down. Round the spine as much as you can. Extend the right leg. Bring everything towards the midline, yogis. Bend the elbows if it's possible. Tuck the chin into the chest, forehead to knee. Come out of that. Same way you went into it. Shift your weight to your right leg. Lift your left knee up. Flex the left foot. Root to rise. Lift up from all the bandhas. Interlace your fingers. Lift up out of the waist spine again. Flex forward at the hip. Grab a hold of your left foot with your grip. Make sure everything's hugging the midline. Engage your right quadricep. Think of your right quadricep. It's a standing pose. Engage the legs, both quadriceps. Now bend the elbows down if it's possible. Tuck the chin into the chest, forehead to knee. Come out of that. Same way you went into it. Take a moment. Dandayamana Dhanurasana, standing bow pulling pose. Right elbow into the waist of the right side. You're going to drop your right hand down inside and grab from the inside of your right ankle. Get your knees underneath your hips so your knees touch. Left arm comes up right by your left ear and you're looking directly forward. So you will feel compression on one side in this pose and length on the other. So lift your fingertips of the left hand up to the sky. Keep on rooting to rise. Now start to kick the right ankle into the right hand. Lift up. Now, automatically, as soon as my foot comes over my head, my body starts to go down. So you want your body to go down, and you want to keep on kicking that back foot. Keep your knees in line. Reach your left arm forward. Kick into the hand. Let the body drop. Take another breath. Point your toes. Engage the left leg. Inhale, come up. Same way you started. Find your stillness. Left elbow into the left side of the body. Drop the left hand down. pick up your left ankle from the inside with your left hand. Square off your hips by aligning your knees together. Lift your right arm up and bring that arm right by your right ear. Touch the ceiling. 5 fingers together. Start to kick the left ankle into the left hand. Reach up and kick into the hand. And watch how the body just wants to go forward. So you do want to go forward, but you want to keep on reaching and making sure that the knees are not splaying out to the side. Reach and kick those toes up to the sky. Engage the right quadriceps. Breathe. Inhale, come up. Take a moment. Second set. Right side. Inhale, come up. Left side. Inhale, come up. Take a moment, yogis. Let's all come to the back of our mat for Tulan Dandasana or stick pose. Stand in your power. Arms up over the head, palms will touch. Interlace your fingers. Let the index finger be free. Reach your hands up because you're rooting to rise so much that you're lifting up out of your waist spine. We're going to step the right foot forward. Step on it and then lift the back foot up and tilt your body forward, hinging at the hips, and you're going to create this capital letter T. So reach forward and reach back. Lift the back leg up. Let the body drop down as you lift and lengthen through the chest. Inhale, come back to the back of the mat. Keep your arms up. Inhale, lift. Squeeze your palms together. Step with your left foot. Lift the right leg up and go forward. Creating that capital letter T. Squeeze your glutes together. Let your hips be even. Reach your fingers towards the mirror. Reach your toes towards the back wall. Reach. Inhale, come up. Back to the back of the mat. Arms go down to the side. Take a breath. Your heart rate will go up quite dramatically in that pose. Second set. Arms up over the head. Palms touch. Let the index finger free. Reach your arms up. Step with your right foot forward. And just charge your body and reach. Reach your fingers forward. Reach your back toes to the wall. Let your chest drop a little bit as you reach the back leg up a little bit more. Take another breath. Come back to the back of your mat. Keep your arms up. Step with your left foot. Lift up. Fold forward. Reach, my loves. Inhale, come back to the back of your mat. Reach, and then let your arms go down. Take a breath. Relax your upper body. Just let the breath come in and out of the body. We are good. We're fine. Just enjoy that feeling of your heart beating. Enjoy the feeling that we're alive. Now, for today's purposes, I'm going to keep facing you. So I'm going to step on the side of the mat. So this is originally how it was done and how it is done. I think we said in the instructional video that most studios come to the back of the mat because they don't want everyone to sweat on their floors. So they keep the sweat contained on the mat. So I'm going to step to the left of my mat, and I'm going to bring my arms up over my head for Dandayamana Bibhaktapada Paschimottanasana. So we're going to step out over your mat into this separate leg position, right? Standing separate leg stretch. So your toes are turned in slightly. Your heels are kicked out. You're going to lift up out of the waist spine and press the hips forward again. As you flex at the hip, we're going to fold forward and grab a hold of the heels. Wherever it is that you can grab right now is okay, right? So if you can grab your heels, then shovel your hands underneath. Rock your weight forward, bend the elbows, and start to get your forehead down towards the ground. Engage your legs like crazy. Yeah, lift up in the pelvic floor. The wider your feet are in the beginning, the better it is. So keep on engaging your legs. Rock forward towards the metatarsal. Lift up from the pelvic floor. Lift up from your belly. Release. Arms out to the side. Inhale, come up. Come back to the left side of your mat. And take another moment. Inhale, arms up over the head, palms touch. Open out to the right side. Again. Reach. Inhale, lift up, root to rise, up out of the waist spine. Exhale, fold. So we're going to go right to our feet immediately. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. So let your head drop. Let yourself feel the traction in the cervical spine. Lift up from the quadriceps and then rock yourself forward. Bend your elbows if it's possible for you. Try to get your forearms to your shins. Lift the elbows energetically up towards the ceiling. Rock forward. Lengthen the back of the body, everybody. And then release that. Arms out to the side. Come up. Come back to the side of your mat. Left side. And breathe. So we're going to go into a pose called Trikonasana. And in this pose, some lineages call it side angle, right? Because your right knee is going to be bent. Inhale, arms up over the head. Triangle pose, right? Same setup as the other pose we just did. We're going to turn the right foot now to the side. And we're going to turn our left heel out slightly. And I'm going to find some bend in my right knee. Now, sometimes some teachers let you bounce a little bit here. I don't mind that very much. But then I want you to find your stillness. Flip the palms, feel the outside of the left foot, and then tilt the body. So your fingertips are going to go in between your big toe and your second toe. Your shoulders will stack on top of each other, but drop the left hip down. So your shoulder, your chin is going towards the shoulder. You should see the profile of your face in the mirror. So reach. Reach your arms up. Take another breath. Inhale, come back up to that second position. Come up, straighten the leg, bring your right toes in, left toes out. Again, some people might want to bring this right hip point forward. Drop down into that left knee, but don't collapse and dump into it, right? This is what we talk a lot about in training. So reach your arms out to the side, flip your palms, and then tilt the body. So my hands are going towards my big toe, second toe, but I'm not dumping down. I'm lifting up energetically as I press my hips forward. Engage. Try to get the shoulders in line with each other, chin to the shoulder. Breathe. Inhale, come up. Come back to the left side of your mat. Arms up. palms touch, arms back to the side. So we're gonna do that again, a little faster. Inhale, arms up over the head, palms touch. Exhale, open out and breathe. Just find your place. Right foot turns, left toes turn in. Remember, this hip point might want to turn in a little bit, but without dumping. You want to lift up, sit into the pose. Reach, find length, flip your palms, and then tilt the body. Do you still feel the outside of the left foot? These are the questions you need to ask yourself. Bring the right side of the rib cage forward. Shoulders are in line with each other. Your fingers are going towards the big toe and second toe. Reach your fingers up. Really reach up. It's a twist as well, my loves. Take another breath. Inhale, come up. Bring the right toes in, left toes out. And sit into your pose. Sit without dumping. Right? Reach. Flip the palms. Can you feel the outside of the right foot? Bring the left side of the rib cage forward. Stack your shoulders on top of each other eventually and drop the right hip down. Reach your fingertips up to the sky. Feel the between the big toe and the second toe. Chin to shoulder, profile visible in the mirror. Reach. Take another breath. Come up. Come back to the side of your mat. Dandayamana, Vibhakta Pada, Janushriyasana. Arms up over the head, palms touch. Now you're going to keep your hands in prayer and your thumbs will cross. Lift up out of the waist spine again by engaging the legs, stepping out to the right. So we're going to pivot our feet towards the right side. We're going to lift up again out of the waist spine. Bring the arms behind you a little bit. Press the hips forward. So you got to lift up through the pelvic floor as you tuck the chin into the chest and start to round the body down. So please do not separate your hands, right? You want to bend the knee as much as you need to. Lift up in the belly. And reach your fingers forward. So this is deep flexion of the spine. Engage the left quadricep. Lift up in your belly. Try to get the forehead on the top of the knee. Inhale, come up. So you're going to uncurl. So your head and your chin is the last thing to uncurl. Press the hips forward. We're going to pivot back to the front and then go back to the left. Pivot to the left. Reach up. Tuck the chin in. Let the arms go back. Round down. Forehead to knee. Engage the right quadricep. Lift your belly up into your spine. Inhale. Come up. Really press your palms together in that prayer position, and your chin is the last thing to come up. Press your hips forward always. Come back to the center and then come back to the side of your mat and release your arms. Take a moment. Inhale, arms up over your head, palms touch. Let's step out to the right. We're going to pivot to the right. Yes, so you have to get everything square to the front, yogis. And you're going to keep it that way without dropping into the hips. Lift up and let your arms go back as you tuck the chin into the chest. Round down. Keep your palms together. Don't let your palms separate. Bend the front knee as much as you need to. Engage the left quadricep. Inhale, come up. Plant your feet into the ground. Scissor your legs. Press your hips forward as you come up. Everything is still square to the front. Lift. Chin is the last thing to come up. Pivot to the front and then pivot to the left. Inhale. Tuck the chin in. Round down. Forehead to knee. squeeze your hips forward here, even when we're upside down. You want to squeeze your palms together and press your feet into the ground to root to rise, and your chin is going to be the last thing to come up. Come back to the center. Come back to the left side of your mat as your arms come down to the side. Take a moment, yogis. So let's find ourselves in the middle of our mats. We're going to do Tadasana. And so we've already talked about that. In most lineages, Tadasana is this. But in this lineage, they call Ardha Baddha Padmottanasana Tadasana. So pick up your right foot with your left hand. If you like to place your right hand on your right knee and start to cradle it a little bit, that's great. That's fine. But you want to start to get your heel onto your costume or onto your left leg or your left quadricep. You could keep your knee high. It's not about your knee, it's about your hip. But I want you to engage your left leg. Grab a hold of your right foot with your left hand. And your left elbow is bent. Now, you're just going to let that right knee drop down. Try to get the heel of the right foot close up as to the navel as possible. So it's about our hip external rotators, right? Engage your glutes and then press everything forward. Engage the left leg. Take another breath. Hands to heart center if it's possible. If your foot is slipping, please hold on to your foot. If not, hands in prayer and lengthen up out of the waist. Engage your left quadricep. And then release that. Stand in your power, find your base, and then shift your weight as you lift the left knee up, grabbing a hold of the left foot with your right hand. Yeah, you could cradle it if you'd like. But then start to place the heel down onto the right quadricep close to the navel as possible. Hold on to the left foot with your right hand. Bend your left elbow. Use your bicep straight. Press your hips forward. Engage your glutes, right? Because it's an external rotation. This is external rotation, so I want to use the muscles of external rotation. So lift up out of the pelvic floor and engage that external rotation so I could protect my knees. Lift up and then let the knees drop where they may. Place the left hand in the center of your chest. If it doesn't slip, then place both hands together. Take another breath. And then release that. Second set of Tadasana is Padangusthasana, which is toe stand in this lineage. Now, you can stay in this Tadasana if you want. Or we could place both hands to your chest in the center and Namaskara. And just flex forward at the hips and place your hands on the ground. As soon as your fingers touch, then you're pretty ready to do the rest. I like to lift my left heel and bend my knee and just sit towards my heel without collapsing. I bring my hands to the side of my hips. Yeah? So eventually my knees are in line with each other. So I like you to learn, instead of just dumping into your hands, to come onto your fingertips and be really light. Eventually just your index fingers. So find your focus, yes, which is usually in front of your mat, and place your left hand to your chest. Lift up out of your waist spine, my loves. We've been doing it all practice. And find a balance. And then release that. Bring your hands in front of you as you straighten the legs. So you're like reversing how we got into the pose, right? So plant the left foot into the ground as you lift up. So I'm rooting to rise. And I'm pressing my right foot into my left quadricep, pressing my hips forward. And I find the standing position. And then release that. Let's do the other side. And when you're ready to release it, yogis, release and come up. Same way we went in. Root to rise. Lift up in the pelvic floor. Hands to heart. Squeeze. And then let go. Honor your standing practice, yogis. And let's find ourselves on our spines. So originally, right, the feet are going to be facing away from the mirror. My head is going to be facing the mirror, or top of my head. So we find ourselves lying down on our spines. We're going to take about 20 seconds here in Savasana. Actually, it's 2 minutes in between. So just take a breath and let your body just relax into the pose and integrate all that standing sequence, which is a very powerful standing sequence. Originally, the Ghosh lineage likes you to keep your eyes open in this Savasana. Feel the awareness of body sensation. Feel the tension leaving the body as we open up spaces. Pavan Muktanasana, or wind removing pose. Bring your right knee into your chest. Interlace your fingers webbing to webbing. Place the hands right underneath your knee, or right on the bottom of your knee, and on top of your tibia. So you're going to pull the right quadricep towards the chest and move it over to the right a little bit to avoid the rib cage. So we're avoiding the first compression point. And then pull it up towards your armpit. Now, I like to tell people to flex their left foot and relax their right foot. So engage the left leg as you pull the right knee up towards the armpit or towards the shoulder. And you're going to feel compression on the right side. And you're going to feel expansion on the left leg where the hip flexors are. This is working my ascending colon. And then release that. Let's do the other side. Bring the left knee up into the chest. Flex the right foot, engage the right leg. Avoid the rib cage by letting that left quadricep drop a little bit to the left around the rib cage, and then pull the leg up with your arms, with your bicep strength, up to your armpit or to your left shoulder. Now keep everything square. Don't let your head roll out to the side. The back of your head is still on the ground. Engage the pelvic floor even here, right? Engage your abdominals or Uddiyana Bandha. So remember, the pelvic floor is Mula Bandha and the belly lock is Uddiyana Bandha. So I'm finding nice axial extension here as well. And then I'm going to release that. And that was working my descending colon. So I'm going to bring both knees into my chest, and I'm going to grab a hold of the pointy parts of my elbows. I'm going to inhale and exhale. I'm going to pull. So I got to make sure that the back of my head is on the ground. Relax your feet and pull. Engage your belly by squeezing your bellies together, your abdominals. Engage your pelvic floor. So I'm tilting. I'm bringing my lower back a little bit up off of the ground. Transverse colon. And then release that. So you're going to take about 10 to 20 seconds in between your poses, yogis. Let's do the second set of Pavan Muktanasana. Bring your right knee into the chest and pull. Remember, this is working your ascending colon. So this is really a great exercise if we have any intestinal problems, any digestive issues, right? This is also Samana Vayus, our belly is everything that we assimilate in our life. Well, pull and then release. Let's do the other side. Bring your left knee up into the chest and avoid the rib cage. Pull the left knee towards the armpit or towards your shoulder. Flex the right foot. Engage and feel that beautiful length that you're creating. And then release that. So we're massaging the intestines, we're massaging the colon, bring both knees up into the chest, and we're also feeling some wonderful stuff going on for our hips and for our lower spine. This is also a really safe stretch for your hamstrings. And here's deep compression of the transverse colon. And then release that, yogis. Find your savasana. Arms up over the head, thumbs crossed, flex your feet. Inhale, come up for the sit-up. Exhale, twice on the top, elbows touch the ground, forehead to knee. Grab a hold of your big toes. So let's come to our bellies and do the spinal strengthening sequence. So we first start with Cobra or Bhujangasana. So my hands or my fingers are right underneath my deltoids as my chin comes to the ground. So in this lineage, it's peculiar for this lineage as they like for the shoulders or the traps to come forward and not to come backwards. So be mindful of that, yeah? So they want to see in this lineage the top of the traps rolling forward. So try to squeeze your elbows together as the tops of your shoulders or your traps are coming forward. Inhale, come up, engage your legs, tops of the toes are on the ground, lift up. You're going to come up towards the belly button and let the shoulders come forward. Press your chest forward, engage your legs, engage your glutes, lift up, lift the chest up. Keep 5 fingers together and then lower down. Left ear comes to the mat. Big toes touch, let your heels drop out to the side, relaxing the lower spine. Second set. Bring your fingertips right underneath your deltoid caps, right? 5 fingers together. Feel the baby toes, everything on the ground. All your toenails of your feet. Do not let your feet lift up off of the ground. Engage your leg like one cobra's tail. Right? So if we look at a cobra, he has a big head and he has no arms and no legs. So let the body of the cobra be your legs and be your torso. And let the head of the cobra be your upper body, your chest, your head, your elbows. So inhale, come up. Let the shoulders come forward. Press the chest forward. Engage your legs. Look up. Where your eyes go, remember your body follows. Press your chest forward and then release that. Right ear to the mat. Let your arms relax. Salabhasana. Let your chin come to the mat and let your arms come underneath you. Your palms are on the ground. So you're going to lie right on top of your arms. Yes, this is not the most comfortable position. So relax your left leg and bring your right leg up 45 degrees so it does not connect with your arms. So your hip is going to lift up, but don't let your hips twist. Lift up. Take another breath and then lower down. Relax your right leg. Engage your left leg. Lift up. Don't let the leg twist, but lift up. Take another breath and then lower down. Mouth to the mat. Shift your weight. You might need to readjust your hands. You want to kiss your mat. Engage your legs. Shift your weight towards your hips and lift both legs up off of the ground. Lift up. 10 seconds. Keep on lifting up and then lower down. Get your hands out and let your left ear go to the mat. Take a breath. So we're going to do that again, yogis. So chin on the mat, get your hands underneath you. Try to get the whole palm on the ground. Engage your right leg, relax your left leg. Point the right foot and lift up. Try to square everything off. Reach up. Take another breath, 45 degrees or more, and then lower down. Other side. Relax the right leg. Engage the left leg. Lift up. Don't let the leg twist. Lift up. Take another breath, and then lower down. Mouth to the mat. Legs together. So, you know, the wisdom is that what you could do with one leg, we could do with both legs, but sometimes we find it a little bit difficult in this pose. So, give yourself a break. This is a difficult pose. So, the chin goes towards the mat. Press your hands down. Engage your legs. Shift your weight forward. And then lift both legs up. For 10, 9, 8, 7, lift up, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then lower down. Get your hands out of there and let your right ear go to the mat. So chin back to the mat. We're going to come into Purna Salabhasana, or full locust pose. Arms come out to the side. Legs are together. Feet are tight, pointed. Now as my body goes up, my arms and my legs come up. My vision goes up. My eyes or my focus goes up. And my hands go right towards my head on the same level, not behind me. So inhale, come up. Make a nice V shape. Bring your hands a little forward, more forward. Lift the legs up. Take another breath. Look up. Reach up. And then lower down. Left ear to the mat. Second set, yogis. Chin to the mat. Legs together. So, you know, I do teach that if your lower back is really bothering you, you could open up your feet a little bit in this pose, and that's perfectly fine. Inhale, come up. Reach up. Take a breath. Look up. Now lift your chest up. Try to get up to the belly button. Lift your arms up. Go up. Way up. And then lower down. Right ear to the mat. Dhanurasana, bow. So this is floor bow. So we're going to bend the knees and we're going to place our hands right underneath our toes. So we're going to place our hands strategically. Yeah? My arms are straightened as my chin is on the ground. So my knees are together in the beginning. They will separate. But I want to rock onto the belly, or the soft part of the belly, and I want to try to stay there as much as I can. So don't rock too much back and forth. So inhale, kick the feet into the hands, rock forward, and then lift up. Try to get the feet closer together. Look up. Take another breath. Reach up. And then lower down. Left ear to the mat. Second set, yogis. Bend your knees, Grab a hold of your feet, right underneath your toes. And then start to kick up. And then release that. Right ear to the mat. So place your hands underneath your deltoids, tuck your toes underneath you, and just press yourself up. And then find your knees at the front of your mat. So there is no break here yet because this is also an extension pose. So this is fixed firm or Sapta Varjasana. So open out your feet and then sit in between your heels. And if that's not possible for you today, you know, that's okay because a lot of us have tightness in these areas. So just work with where you're at. So what I would like you to do is to, if you're there and sitting in between your heels, to try to get your feet so that they're parallel, so your toes are facing the back wall, right? And so eventually you're going to feel the pinky toe on the ground, and your heels are right by your hips. Huh? So lift up out of the waist spine. So right now what's touching the ground are my sit bones, but I'm fixed into the ground. Lift up out of the waist. If this is all you're doing, this is perfect. Remember, wherever you are is perfect. So if you want to go on, you're going to grab a hold of the heels and then place your elbows down onto the ground, lifting the chest. If this is it, this is it. If you could drop the head, great. If you could find the back of the head, great. Keep your chest lifted. Arms up over the head, grab a hold of the pointy parts of the elbows. Bring your knees together if you can. If not, they could separate, but don't let your knees lift up off of the ground. So this is an extension pose as well, yogis. Also working with that stretch on the top of the ankles, right? And then release that. So elbows, elbows, hands to feet, head to the ground, and press up. So come forward to come out of the pose. And then lie back on your spine as quickly as possible. And take your breaths. I like to keep my knees bent when I come into these savasanas. You don't have to. If you like to keep your legs long, please do so. Arms up over the head, flex your feet. If these sit-ups bother you, just roll over to the side. Double exhale on the top. Elbows down, big toes touch, forehead to knee. And let's do second set. Fixed firm or Sapta Varjasana. We're going to come to the top of our mat, open up our feet, sit in between the heels, yes? And try to get your feet right, yogis. Make sure that your feet are flat, that you can feel the top of them. Eventually you're going to feel the pinky toe on the ground. Hands to feet, elbows to ground, lift the chest, let the head drop back. All these are the steps, and you could stay in any step that you need. Touch elbows to elbow if you need, if you can. Inhale, come up out of that. And then come back onto your spine as quickly as possible. And mindfully as possible. And find your savasana. Arms over your head, flex your feet. If you're going to skip the sit-up, just roll over to the side. Come up, sit up. Double exhale on the top, elbows down, big toe hold, forehead to knee. So let's come to the back of your mat for a nice counter pose. Yay! Finally a nice forward fold. We did all those back bends, all those contraction back bends, and then we had a traction back bend at the end. So our spine has been worked, yeah, and now we're going to counter pose it with Ardha Kurmasana. Arms up over the head, palms will touch. So you're going to lift up out of the waist spine and get your arms as long as possible. Engage the pelvic floor, press your hips forward and flex forward at the hips. Keep your palms together. Keep your palms together, your fingers touch the ground, and then your forehead touches the ground. And breathe. Lift your wrists up if it's possible for you, but keep reaching your fingers forward to the front and keep sitting back towards your heels at the same time so you can find that traction of the spine. Here's a nice flexion of the spine. Inhale, fix those shins into the ground as you lift up, reaching the arms up, lengthening the spine, and then lower down. Let's come back onto our spine. Arms up over the head, thumbs crossed. Inhale, double exhale on the top. Elbows down, forehead to knee, grab a hold of the big toes. Second set, Ardha Kurmasana. Come onto the shins, right? So we're on our shins, they're fixed into the ground. And so that's where I'm rooting to rise. I'm rooting down to lift up out of my waist spine as I lift through Mula Bandha and squeeze Uddiyana Bandha. Arms come up over the head, palms touch. Lift up again out of waist spine as I fold forward. Reaching forward, sitting back. Find the most length that you can in your spine, everybody. And you're going to feel a nice pulling in the shoulders as well. And breathe. Sit back and reach forward. Inhale, come up. And release the pose. Come back onto your spine. Sit up. Thumbs crossed. Double exhale on the top. Forehead down, elbows down, grabbing the hold of the big toes. Ustrasana or camel pose. So let's come to the front or the middle of your mat. So your knees, right, or again, your knees and your shins and the tops of your feet are fixed into the ground. So this is a part of the fixed firm family. And I want to get my hips square and press them forward. And as I do that, I lift up out of my waist spine. So hands come right behind your lower spine, like you're going to put your hands in your jeans pocket. And I keep on lifting up out of my waist as I press my hips forward and drop my head back. If that's not a possibility, please don't drop your head back. Just press your hips forward. Here is a part of the back bend. But if you can go on, lift up out of the waist spine, let the head drop back. If you could see the back wall, and then you're ready. You can grab a hold of your heels. Yeah, grab a hold of your heels. Grab a hold of them and pull up. Pull up. And then place your hands back on the lower spine. Inhale, lift up out of the waist spine, press down through your shins all the way up through your head. And then sit down and release the pose. So it's weird to feel normal, and it's weird to feel normal in that pose, right? So it's normal to feel weird, and that's what a lot of people say, and it's true. So just give yourself a moment to take breaths. Back bending can be scary. Arms over your head, let's sit up. Come to the front of your mat or the middle of your mat for the second set of Ustrasana. So you could open up your feet if you'd like. Some people like to experiment with their feet closer together, so it's your practice. Ground and fix yourself into the ground with your knees, your shins, the tops of your feet. Root to rise, lift up in the pelvic floor, squeeze the abdominals, press your hips forward. Place your hands on your lower spine. Lift up again out of the waist, let your head drop back, or not. And then find your camel. Keep on pressing your hips forward as your hands come to your waist. Lift up. Keep on pressing shins down. Lift up through the ground, through your head. And then release that. Come onto your spine for your Savasana. We're on the home stretch, yogis. Arms up over your head, thumbs crossed. Sit up. Counter pose, Sasangasana. So Sasangasana is also a part of the fixed firm family. So still on my shins. But this is a counter pose because I'm going to go into flexion instead of extension. So I'm going to place my hands by my heels. Some people need a towel on their heels so that they don't slip. That's fine. So I want you to lift up out of the waist spine, tuck the chin in towards the chest, and then round down, placing your forehead on your knees. Once you find that, make sure you have a grip on the heels, and you're going to lift the hips up and rock forward. Try not to put too much pressure on the top of your head. Lift up, try to find that nice roundness of the lumbar spine. It's deep, deep flexion of the lumbar spine. And then release that forehead back to the knees as you lengthen. Ground down through the shins. Lift up through the waist spine. The chin is the last thing to come up. Find yourself on your spine. Arms up over the head, thumbs crossed. Flex your feet. Sit up. Second set, Sasangasana, or rabbit. Fix yourself into the ground, right? Lift up out of the waist spine. Nice long spine. Tuck chin into the chest and round down. Forehead to knee. And then roll over. Lift the hips up. You're still grabbing a hold of those heels like crazy and you're pulling up. Lift up from the pelvic floor. And then release that forehead to knees. Inhale, come up, root to rise. Chin is the last thing to come up. And then lie back on your spine for your Savasana. Arms up over your head, thumbs crossed, sit up. So here we come with Janu Shriyasana and Paschimottanasana, right? It's head to knee with stretching. Make sure that we're creating an L shape with the legs, and that this left foot right now, when my right leg comes out first, my left foot's in, I want to feel my left foot pressing against my right inner thigh. And then I want to engage my left glute as I lift my arms up and then fold forward. So I have the grip, and I'm going to tuck my chin into the chest, bend my elbows. Inhale, come up. Keep your arms up if you can. If it's not possible, you can, because I like to also use my hands to bring my foot into place. that's okay too. So engage this left leg. Inhale, arms up. It's a twist. And I have to engage my right glute as I tuck the chin into my chest and I round down. Elbows down. Pressing the right foot into the left inner thigh. Lift up in the belly. Get your forehead higher on the knee. Engage your legs. Engage your glutes. Inhale, come up. Now, you're going to bring both legs together and you're going to lie back down on your spine. If this is not possible because you're not doing the sit-ups, then just stay seated. Come up, double exhale. Inhale, grab a hold of the big toes, lengthen your spine. Here's Paschimottanasana. Now, you can walk if you'd like to get on the sit bones, or you could just get on your sit bones. Lengthen the spine. Engage the legs. Then pull. I like to bend the elbows out to the side and try to find a nice long spine. Try to get really long. Try to get your forehead to your knees. Engage your quads. Take another breath and pull. And then release that. Let's do this all again. So let's start with Savasana and take a breath. Arms up over the head, thumbs crossed, sit up. Right leg out, left leg in, Janushriyasana. Arms up over the head, go towards your right leg, tuck chin into the chest, round down. Forehead to knee. Lift up, change legs. Twist towards this long leg, tuck the chin in, round down. Engage your glutes, engage your legs. And then release that. So if you're gonna lie back down, lie back down. So I'm gonna do the modification for those that don't lie back down. So you're just gonna stay here and sit. Interlace your fingers around your big toes. Come into Paschimottanasana. Inhale. Exhale. Let the elbows go out and reach. Come into this deep flexion. Right? So we're hinging forward at the hips and you're trying to find a nice long spine as much as you can. Feeling the backs of the legs stretching. And pull, everybody. Pull. And then release that. Lie back on your spine, yogis. Arms up over the head, thumbs crossed. Sit up. Ardha Matsyendrasana. So we're going to cross the left leg underneath. Right leg on top. You're going to sit right on the sit bones. Yeah? So take a breath. So I'm going to place my left hand behind me, my right arm behind me, my left arm up. Right? So you could see, I don't want to lift my sit bones up. I want to press them down into the ground. So my breastbone goes forward. Right? And so some of us might need to bring this right heel a little bit more forward than not. But you need to work on that. So I don't want you to lean back. I want you to press the breastbone forward. Breastbone forward. Yes, if you can, let go of this right hand. You're going to bind. If not, you don't have to. Right? So lift up. And then look over the right shoulder. Pressing the breastbone forward. And release. Let's do the other side. Again, thinking about what's on the ground. So I have to get my sit bones on the ground, yogis. Left arm back, right arm up. Twist. Bringing the breastbone forward. If you could bind behind the back, then bind behind the back. Right? And then look over the left shoulder, twisting, bringing that breastbone forward. Keeping your sit bones on the ground. and then release that. Let's come onto our spines for our last Savasana. Arms up over the head, thumbs crossed, sit up. So we have this last breath of pranayama. Remember that you can come into it in a fixed firm or a Virasana with your knees on the ground. Or we can come into a cross-legged, right? Whichever you like. But all I need for you to have is your spine straight. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, breathe out. Wet your lips, and let's do that one more time. Honor your practice, yogis. You did such a wonderful job. Now we get to lie back on our spine for a full Savasana. Stay in this Savasana for as long as you like. May we all have peace, peace, peace. Shanti, 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 yogis. Namaste. Thank you for sharing this practice with me today. You're able to go over this. It's yours. It belongs to you now. And you could see it all the time. I want you to explore. You could take longer savasanas if you need to. Hold the poses for a little longer. Get to know and have a relationship with all of these asanas, yogis. Satnam and Namaste.